turkey chili. All done up in the cast iron cauldron. Come along for the ride. So we are Thanksgiving camping here in beautiful Kananaskis, Alberta. It's gorgeous. It is a little bit cold though, and in fact, now that I've started recording, some snowflakes are falling. I mean, typical Canada. Earlier this weekend, we had our Thanksgiving meal where I made an amazing dry brined smoked turkey. And of course, I made way too much, so we've got leftovers. Now the plan here is to make some wicked turkey chili with that. Now, you could easily make it in just a really nice, deep cast iron skillet like this. However, I've got this amazing cast iron cauldron that we picked up in Portugal quite a few years ago. This is huge. It's awesome. I mean, this kind of thing can hang over the fire and whatnot. That's not quite what we're going to do. However, we're making the turkey chili in that. This is going to be fun. All right, lots of different ways you can play around with a recipe like this. Do whatever you like. The point is that we're doing this here in the cast iron. It's going to be fantastic. We're starting off with some red onion. About half of that onion chopped. About a half dozen garlic cloves. We'll just mince those up. I'm also just chopping up about 1.5 yellow bell peppers. This cauldron does work awesome over the fire or charcoal. Today we're actually going to be doing it here on the camping stove, just with that diffuser in place, just because this is a little bit more out of the way. It'll be a little bit easier to control everything on the inside. We're going to start off with a little oil here. You could also use some bacon grease or beef tallow. That'd be awesome, but I just don't have any right now. Just going to move that oil around here a little bit. Bit of coating around there. All right, let's get those onions in there. Garlic. While that's sauteing, we'll get in some cumin, about a teaspoon, same with the paprika, about a half teaspoon of ground coriander, and half teaspoon of some onion powder, and about a half or there of some garlic powder. Get everything all nice and fragrant. Now that that's at a minute, we're going to be adding our yellow peppers. Some of our other additions here, we've got some chicken bone broth that I made, white kidney beans, some navy beans, kernel corn, and probably some lager. So with this veg basically sauteed how we want it, it is now time to quote-unquote deglaze here with that chicken bone broth. Beautiful. Now we're going to do our best to get these drained kidney beans in here. They are very cold. It's going to be fun. Now I'll take one of these smoked turkey breasts here. I removed pretty much all of the skin there. We're going to go through and just chop it up. So a huge advantage to using this smoked turkey is that we've got all the awesome flavor that we've got here. It's going to make it right into our chili. All right, so we have a nice little simmer going on here. At this point, an optional move would be to blend this up, especially if you have a picky eater or something like that and you're trying to hide some of those beans and veggies. We want to have just probably a little bit of a little half blend on this here, which is going to help us get a little bit more richness to that broth with those beans getting mixed into it. There we go. So we've mixed in some of those beans, but we still have some nice little chunks of that yellow pepper as well as the red onion. Now we're going to get our turkey into here. We're going to add an extra, probably jar and a half there of this chicken broth, a full can of our small white navy beans, and a can of kernel corn. Just to work on our ratio of meat to beans to corn and everything like that, we're going to add a little bit of some of the turkey thigh as well. Now, of course, because we couldn't resist, we've got this here over the fire. Take a little peek. Oh yeah, bubbling and boiling away. And here we are, right down where we belong on the coals. Now this is going to get us nicely reduced where we want to be. We've got a couple of, I guess, spent lemons here. We're going to toss in here just for a little bit of acidity, added flavor. Oh yeah, we're getting super close here. It reduced just a touch more than we were looking for, so we took a bit of that lager and just thinned it down a little bit here. It's tasting amazing. Now, I did get that cauldron like 20 years ago at a market in Portugal, but more recently I have seen some crop up online. I'll get some links in the video description here for you. Ooh. All right, it is time to serve up with the world's smallest spoon ladle thing here. But we'll get a bunch of that chili in there. Also, look, okay, this is a very small bowl, so it's going to require multiple bowls. But you work with what you got when you're camping. There we go. All right.
Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, chili. And then I'm going to get a bunch of this grated white cheddar cheese on there. Then we're going to some cilantro, green onions, avocado, and then some of our sweet pineapple hot sauce. And just to top things off with a little more green, some fresh jalapeno. Oh yeah, getting a nice spoon here with a little bit of everything on it. Super fantastic.
This turkey didn't need any extra seasoning. The salt that I already had in that dry brine smoked turkey was enough to season it all. Of course, that's something a person would have to play around with. But looking at the flavors that we had going on there was the creaminess coming out of those beans, the richness of that bone broth, some of the sweetness coming out of the corn, the salty smokiness of that turkey. All of it. And then you have the little accoutrement that goes on afterwards with the avocados and the cilantro and the green onions, all of that stuff, the jalapenos, giving it some heat, kicking it up with that hot sauce. And I mean, maybe if you take some little hot spicy chips or something and sprinkle them on, that would also be an incredibly wicked move. Now, this particular batch of chili is probably one of the best that I've ever had. Very, very happy with it. An amazing way to use up some of the rest of that turkey and really just warm the belly on a rather cold day just like today. So there you have it. Give it a whirl, play around with that recipe a little bit to your heart's content, and until next time, keep your turkey leftovers at 11.